We are backstage at Radio 105.7's Holiday Spectacular. Portugal the man. Very excited to talk with you guys. Obviously, there's kind of some big things going on right now. You may or may
Christmas is coming up.
Exactly. Holidays.
Hanukkah.
Am I right?
Kwanzaa. Yeah, we got some stuff going on.
So the first thing I want to know, because I find this very interesting, actually. Who told you that you got the nomination for the Grammy?
Wait, we're nominated for a Grammy?
What?
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 Who
No, I think all of us had the same experience. We woke up in the morning to 1,000 text messages from people.
I actually heard it from a human, but then checked my phone for confirmation. It was the first time, actually, but just my girlfriend woke up before me and woke me up, and it was 8 in the morning. I was like, stop. She's like, you're nominated for a Grammy. I'm like, tell me at 9. My alarm hasn't even gone off yet.
You're funny. Okay.
No, it was great. Yeah, so I actually heard for the first time from a person. But yeah, we just woke up to a ton of text messages, and that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I called Jason at 10:30, and I figured he was up. I figured he had seen all this stuff.
He had been on Threads for hours.
Yeah, I called him and I said, "Congratulations, dude." And he said, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You didn't call me.
Really?
You're like, wait a minute. Phone call?
Well, Jason was the only one I hadn't heard.
Yeah, totally.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, so now you're looking at the red carpet and all this kind of stuff. Do you feel how do you feel about that? Are you stressed out about it? Are you excited? Or what kind of emotions do you have for something like that?
It's really bright on the red carpet. I've heard
it's seriously kind of blinding.
We've been to 2 award shows.
Yeah.
And none of them is the Grammys is crazy. But we've been to some award shows, and yeah, very, very bright in there.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that we fear. We're from Alaska. We live in Portland, Oregon. We don't like bright things. We like the dark.
We're pretty wonderfully out of place in those kinds of situations. Food in the teeth and just torn up clothes.
I heard you can't
we cause a scene that no one wants to look at.
And leave your seat or something? Somebody has to be in the seat?
Yeah. Can't have empty seats on television.
Well, they have fillers. They have fillers if you do have to leave to perform or something like that.
They legit.
No, man, it's the Grammys. You get to pee wherever you want.
Do they give you a disposal area?
I don't know.
You have to stay in your seat.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But we're punk rock, man. We pee where we wanna.
Even if it's right on stage. Right. Well, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your artwork and the covers and everything that you have done. And who are some of the artists that you personally like?
Oh, that's so easy. It's
Ed Templeton.
Yeah.
We grew up watching Welcome to Hell, skate movies. It's
Toy Machine I'm repping right now.
Yeah,
seriously, this is it.
I got into art and everything. It was seeing this guy with this kind of nerdy style skateboarding, and it was kind of everything. It was
high waters.
Yeah, it's like the family side of skate communities.
Yeah.
And that was our whole circle of friends growing up. And it was cool seeing somebody who was so good at skateboarding and photography and art. It was this guy that kind of did everything.
Yeah, he's kind of perfect. He's kind of the older, responsible punk, but then kind of the younger punk, adult. It's he really ties everything together, and he's just constant since we've been kids, and now I just always a guy we can look up to.
Okay, now I gotta check that out.
Yeah,
I appreciate the recommendation.
Ed Templeton.
Word.
You're talking about coming up in Alaska and everything. What do? Because I've never been. What is the number one people think about Alaska, but it's totally not true?
But probably the igloos. We got the igloo thing growing up. I would get that when we'd go visit my grandparents, and their friends would say, "So do you guys live in the igloos? Do you have TV up there?" They're asking us these questions, but we're wearing normal clothes. I'm wearing Levi's blue jeans.
We're wearing Hilfiger and And no, stupid. Igloos are meant to be you use it. Yeah. It's a non. It's not permanent. It's just to use it for a weekend and then you're done. So you never live in them.
There's plenty of real weird things about Alaska that you can talk about. You don't need to make stuff up.
Yeah, definitely. Plenty of.
What's weird about Alaska?
I don't know.
The size of everything. Really? Like the amount of space between spaces is crazy. I think a lot of people that go up there are trying to get away from some stuff and trying to get away from the influence. And I mean, the first house that I lived in until I was 7, there's no neighbors. There's no neighborhood. It's one road. That's pretty weird. You don't know it's weird when you're in it, when you're growing up.
Well, yeah, that's all you know at the time. So you assume that's how everybody else is growing up. That's what they know.
We've talked about this before, but every single family has a specific separate freezer that's just for meat. And that's across the board. Every single family has the meat freezer.
So that's common.
That's a
very common
thing, yeah, because everyone's got at least one family member that's going out there and filling that freezer.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. All right, let me switch gears here. Now, you guys obviously have a lot of albums that maybe some people are just finding out about. I feel like you're pretty prolific. Are you already thinking about what's to come next? Are you writing right now?
Yeah, definitely. That's always been a constant in this band.
Yeah.
And we have like this. You can't really see it from the outside. We may have a lot of music, but this record took 4 years to put together, and during that time we wrote
a lot of stuff,
hundreds of songs, and recorded 40 to 60 of them with different versions of everything. It's just that's what we do. I mean, we really like writing music, and I like the idea of chasing a song like this. I mean, if anything's pushed me, it's the fact that Feel It Still has become so successful that I just want to try and beat it. I want to try and write another song like that. I want to try and get there and do it on our own terms and be ourselves doing it.
So you say it took 4 years. Gloomin' and Doomin' was in there, right?
Yeah, that was part of it.
Did some of that music come to this album, or was that completely a separate entity?
Kind of. It depends on how you look at it. Like we kind of took a step back when we decided to call the album Woodstock and work on everything, and we reworked a lot of that stuff. I mean, there are probably 4 songs or 5 songs that were somewhat a part of those sessions, but we had approached them like a band.
Okay.
You know, like it was the consistency of So Young and Mr. Lonely and the inclusion of Fat Lip. All this stuff kind of came after we decided to call the album Woodstock.
Right. Okay. Talking about Woodstock, you found your dad's ticket to Woodstock?
Yeah, Zach.
Yeah, it was. We were up in Alaska hanging out with his dad. You know, having some beers and eating chicken wings, which is what we were just doing a little while ago. Apparently, we do that a lot. Creatures of habit.
I was just saying, nothing wrong with that.
But he was. He's just a rad guy. John Gorley Sr. is amazing, and he kind of just he was kind of just giving us hell and giving us dad talk, kind of messing with us, you know. And but he always has such a really good way of making fun of us and inspiring us at the same time. He's really good at. He's such a good dad. And when it comes to that kind of stuff, he's awesome. And he kind of threw us an envelope, like it was no big deal. It's like, check this out, you guys will get a kick out of this. And it was his original ticket to Woodstock in '69. The funniest thing, though, is that he didn't have it or save it or have it framed. He had just thrown it in his toolbox back in the 70s, and his friend recently he gave it to a friend and moved up to Alaska. His friend was recently cleaning it out and found it at the bottom. Mailed it back, was like, hey, you probably want to keep this. And that's just super funny and goes to show what kind of, like, his character is super funny. I know. Yeah, but I can see what he was thinking.
Not the most sentimental people.
But he'd want to...
Yeah, we go and work.
Yeah, he'd want to keep things, but he's just like, I need to keep it nice. Just like, I put it in a safe spot. My toolbox is where my tools are. So that's how I make a living. That's a safe spot. But then just forgot about it. And it's pretty funny.
Did he tell you any of the, anybody he remembers seeing at Woodstock? Because I went to the Woodstock Museum and the
He told us stories, but they're always
there for all of it.
Yeah,
he saw the whole thing.
Was there anybody that stuck out to him though that he mentioned to you, or?
Not necessarily. It was everything. The whole experience was something massive. Like all these people coming together in upstate New York, and just everything about it, I think, was really exciting for him. Like he was telling me about naked Congo lines that passed through his camp, and everybody joined in.
Yeah.
You know, meeting Jesus and all that.
Meeting Jesus down by the river. And then him and all his friends just moved up to Alaska to the middle of nowhere and lived off the land. So
after
pretty
Woodstock.
Cool. After that, all the music that John grew up with was all, he moved up a year later, so it was all pre-1970, and it's pretty good.
It's a pretty profound effect. I think his favorite show is whatever was happening in his head. Meeting Jesus down by the river. That's a
sure. Oh, so yeah, something was good.
I mean, and that's just I'm mystified by Woodstock and that it's literally the generation before us. Like, I don't think people realize how many people were there, and it's like I went to the museum or whatever, and we were staying at like a bed and breakfast, and we mentioned it to the people there, and the guy that's running the bed and breakfast, he was like, yeah, I remember seeing Jimi Hendrix. It was really amazing. I was like, whoa, you were there. I was like, tell me about this, And it's like, I think, like, they have those stories, and those stories are going to go with them. Like, get those stories, It's amazing to me, because everybody's got a different perspectives. There's so many different stories from.
I remember it was raining in the morning, but by the afternoon, it had cleared up. Wayne's World 2. Preston.
Really the same as an actual experience, but I mean, I was learning how to play music when the anniversary of it happened.
Yeah.
So the 25th anniversary of the film was just all over TV all the time. So I'm like trying to figure out how to play C and B, and then there's Jimi Hendrix just showing me things that I'm never going to be able to play. It's crazy.
I mean, that was the blueprint for every festival, really, and they didn't even know that's what they were doing. It's just it's an amazing thing.
It's crazy.
It's an amazing piece of history.
We've all talked independently about the impact of Richie Haven's performance.
Oh, for sure.
Watching that Motherless Child performance of him just bleeding onto a microphone and basically sawing a guitar in half. It's just the most soulful, incredibly powerful thing I've ever seen.
And that was cyclical. Like, those people that saw that, like, they were, you can watch the video or whatever, but for those people that were there, and that's why I'm saying, like, those stories that they
I get goosebumps talking about it, and then even just like watching it on YouTube versus people that were actually there saying that it's got to be crazy. And just, I mean, that was the first compilation I ever had. I grew up with that out. Well, I mean, just the vinyl, like the soundtrack for the motion picture. I listened to that as early as I can remember. I've stolen probably 150 vinyls from my parents, but in increments, because if you steal them all at once, they notice.
Yeah,
so
you and I have that in common.
For sure. So, and my mom actually found out about this through a different interview. I did an interview for some vinyl site, and I was talking out that I've stolen a bunch from my parents, and she didn't know this, and she just, mom just typing my name into Google or whatever she does, Yahoo, and and she found me talking about how I had every trip that I go back for Christmas, I always steal just like 5 or 6. That's what they'll notice. She doesn't really listen to them anymore, but she has them all there. And so, but the first batch when I moved to go to college, the first 10, the Woodstock album, that was definitely in there. So I just remember it was the first compilation I ever had or that I listened to. It was the first thing the first soundtrack, or just the first mixtape. It's like, that was the thing. I was like, I want to listen to music, but maybe I can't decide. I just want to listen to everything good. You just throw that on. It's amazing.
There it is. It's there for you.
He's still taking them, Judy.
Oh, yeah. She knows now, and now she's okay with it. So I'm like, Mom.
She's going to put like some peaches and herb in there or something to be take that.
Herb is dope.
Yeah. She said okay, but she told me I had to give her back all the Beatles, and she can't take. She has a very I can't take any 7 inches singles. She's like and she's got an amazing collection of just those. We went through all the singles and we're listening to them. Like, so we're starting to like, she's got to take better care of them. Mom, take better care of your vinyls,
or somebody else will.
That's right.
Just saying. Well, look, I know you guys got some folks to meet and everything. I appreciate the time. Congratulations on the nomination and how far you have come. It's an amazing thing. It's super cool, and it's part of the trajectory. So we really appreciate you guys being out here tonight. We're looking forward to the set. And I think we will wrap it up here with Portugal the Man at Radio 105.7's Holiday Spectacular.